Hi students, I'm Sonia from Vidya Guru, starting a new session on budget. This is basically the part 2 of the budget session which was uploaded earlier. If you have not watched part 1 of the budget, that means I'm referring to the union budget. If you have not watched that session, you can watch that session, before starting this session. Please do watch that session because that session was equally important as this session is going to be. This session is in English medium, complete English medium, not a word in Hindi. If you are not comfortable with the language, you can switch to the session in Hindi medium. That is also there in the playlist. You can go and check that out. This session is shot separately for our students from South India, for our students from Northeast India, those who are unable to understand Hindi well. So that is why we upload such a session for our students from South India and students from our students from Northeast India. I'll start the session, but before starting, if you like the video, if you understand everything, whatever I'm teaching, because I'll try my level best to make you understand whatever I'm teaching in this video, please press the like button for sure. Share the video with your friends so that they can also get the benefit of this video because they'll see all these questions in their exams too if they are writing competitive exams. Subscribe to Vidya Guru's YouTube channel. Do subscribe to Vidya Guru's YouTube channel. Press the bell icon. That's how you'll get the notifications of all the exam relevant videos which we upload. I'll start from here on. Be super focused. Be very attentive. Don't miss a single point. And when I wrap it up, you need to keep all these questions. You need to learn them. You need to learn them all. All of them have to be learned actually. I'll start with the first point there on your screen now. 6 pillars of budget 2021-22. Please understand that if our finance minister presented the budget, they had something. That means the government I'm referring to as they. I'm saying if finance minister presented the budget, they had something in their mind. They had some areas, some fields in their mind they'll be focusing on while presenting the budget. So the areas are there on your screen. I'll be starting with the first one, and that was health and well-being was the first area. The second one was physical and financial capital and infrastructure. The third one was inclusive development for aspirational India. Inclusive development for aspirational India. The fourth one was reinvigorating human capital. See, when we use the word reinvigoration, that means we are referring to strengthening something. We are actually providing strength to something. That is reinvigoration. So reinvigorating human capital. The next one was innovation and research and development. Innovation and R&D, that was the another area. And the sixth and the last area of focus in the budget was minimum government and maximum governance. Minimum government and maximum governance was their motto while presenting the budget. From now on, I'll be starting with important announcements which they have made. So the important announcements from here on, I'll be starting those important announcements. Be very careful. FDI limit, foreign direct investment. Earlier it was less in insurance sector, but now they have increased FDI, foreign direct investment. The money comes from outside India. That is why the word foreign is there. I'm saying FDI limit in insurance hiked to 74%. That means out of 100, 74% can come through FDI in the insurance sector. When I move ahead, proposed disinvestment of. Read the words carefully. Proposed disinvestment of. When we refer to the word disinvestment, and if I wish to talk about disinvestment in layman's language, I'll be explaining it like that. Disinvestment for the government means they'll be selling their share. If they have in that particular organization, in that PSU or anywhere, they have their share. Government has its share. In PSB, in PSU, they'll be selling it. They call it disinvestment. So I'm saying proposed disinvestment of 2 public sector banks. That means, in other words, I am trying to say they'll be selling 2 public sector banks. And I am saying that 1 general insurer will be sold, as in disinvestment of 1 general insurer will be done too. the government will be selling its share in one general insurance company too. When I move ahead, the farmers are actually being talked about. It's been so many days now. When we actually talk about them, there's something here for them too. MSP, minimum support price. They are actually assuring them that minimum support price for all agri commodities will be provided. But the question is not going to be asked like that. Let me tell you that. They'll ask you how much minimum support price in the budget was offered to our farmers. That was 1.5 times of their production cost. 1.5 times of their production cost, they'll be receiving it as MSP. Minimum support price will be received by the farmers on all agri products. That's what government is assuring them. Mechanism for non-performing assets, resolution in public sector banks. Even public sector banks have such problems. Like NPAs were increasing during this time. NPAs have increased a lot. So read the words carefully. The problem has to be resolved. That means NPAs have to be handled properly. So the resolution will be taken out, and what mechanism they are actually suggesting. ARC, AMC, which are also known as bad banks. Which is also known as bad bank. So that mechanism is going to be used for the resolution of NPA which is present in public sector banks. Non-performing assets, that means I was telling you that any non-performing asset which is not producing, which is not coming back, the loan was actually given by the bank and it is not coming back to the bank, it has become non-performing asset for the bank. That NPA resolution this problem will be resolved by ARC, Asset Reconstruction Company, and Asset Management Company. That's the full form of ARC and AMC, which I told you, also known as bad bank. This mechanism will be used for NPA resolution. Let's move ahead. Scheme to make Indian textile industry globally competitive. Read the words carefully. They have actually launched a scheme. Okay, in the budget, the scheme was Mitra scheme. As this Mitra scheme was being talked, was being talked about, the finance minister was talking about it. They want our textile industry to flourish. They want our textile industry to go global, and for that they have launched this Mitra scheme. And if you read the words carefully, the lower line states something. That means this Mitra was written in uppercase. It has some full form also, and the full form is Mega Investment Textiles Parks. Mega Investment Textiles Parks. If you are looking for R, don't do that. Find it somewhere in the word park. There's no need of it. They actually provide such sort of abbreviations. You have to learn it like that, but the full form is important actually. So Mega Investment Textiles Parks, that is Mitra. And Mitra, if they ask you what is Mitra, you have to explain it. It is related with our textile industry. They want our textile industry to go global, and that is where they've launched this scheme. PM Atmanirbhar Swasth Bharat Yojana outlay. See, when we talk about Swasth Bharat in Hindi, please understand that we are referring to the health, Swasth, health of our country, health of our nation. So Swasth Bharat, healthy India, we are referring to healthy India. That is what Swasth Bharat means here. So PM Atmanirbhar Swasth Bharat Yojana. Yojana means scheme, outlay, expenditure or expense. So PM Atmanirbhar Swasth Bharat scheme's expenditure is going to be 64,180 crores, but that's not for 1 year, that's for the period of 6 years. They will be spending 64,180 crores in the period of 6 years. And I was telling you which scheme are we referring to. That is PM Atmanirbhar Swasth Bharat Yojana. The next point is vaccine to be rolled across India. Pneumococcal vaccine. Whatever we read about the vaccine, this vaccine is also important. They mentioned the name of pneumococcal vaccine in the budget also, related with pneumonia. When I actually talk about pneumococcal vaccine, this vaccine will be rolled across. It will be available in India, all across India. It is going to be available. That's what I mean. What I've written here, that's what I mean, that it is going to be available all across India. And when you wish to read something about pneumococcal, then I'm saying related with pneumonia. That's how you'll be able to retain it. Let's move ahead. A supplementary nutrition program. See, when I read this sentence, I want to tell you the question will be asked in this manner, that Mission Poshan 2.0 is the collaboration or is the union. When we actually merge two schemes, then this Mission Poshan 2.0 comes out to be. As in, Mission Poshan 2.0 is the combination of supplementary nutrition program and Poshan Abhiyan. We have heard a lot about Poshan Abhiyan and not supplementary nutrition program that much, I know that. But this is the combination of supplementary nutrition program and Poshan Abhiyan. And what comes out to be, it becomes Mission Poshan 2.0 now. Outlay for PLI scheme. Before explaining that, I want to tell you PLI is production linked incentive. PLI is production linked incentive. Production linked incentive scheme has been launched for 13 sectors. This is the question which is going to be there in your exam. I feel the lowest point is super important. Production linked incentive scheme has been launched for 13 sectors now, and I want to tell you that outlay, the expenditure which is going to be there, which is going to be there on PLI, production linked incentive scheme, that is 1.97 lakh crore. As it is 1.97 lakh crore, but that is not going to be spent in 1 year's duration. They'll be taking 5 years time. In the 5 years duration, 1.97 lakh will be the expenditure on production linked incentive scheme. So read the words carefully, whatever is there on your screen. Let's move ahead. Operation Green. Operation Green extended to 22 perishable parts. Way back, I've actually, recorded a session in which I've mentioned about tops, tomato, onions and potato, where I was talking about these three parts, perishable items. We even have heard the price of these things, tomato, onion and potato, hikes up, as in it rises to that level that a normal man becomes unable to afford them. So government wanted to control such problems actually. So by Operation Green, they are doing the same thing, but only those three things were there. Gradually they added more as well, but now they are saying that 22 perishable items, perishable which gets destroyed, which gets rotten quickly, those 22 perishable parts will come under government's Operation Green scheme, Green project. Now, new Central University for Leh is going to be launched. Post-matric scholarship scheme for scheduled caste students to benefit 4 crore, not rupees, but 4 crore students. 4 crore students will be benefited by post-matric scholarship scheme. And what is this post-matric scholarship scheme? I told you 4 crores will be benefited, and this is for scheduled caste students actually. Let's move ahead. Turnover limit for tax audit, rupees 10 crores, 95% digital transactions. What does it mean? Any company, whichever company is there, the tax audit takes place. We all know that tax audit takes place, but they are actually giving relaxation sort of thing to those companies which are, continuing with 95% digital transactions. If any company is there and the turnover of that company is below 10 CR, if that company promotes digital transactions, like out of their turnover, 95% was transacted digitally. That means they can actually miss that. That means tax audit is exempted for them. Government is obviously trying to support digital transactions, trying to promote digital transactions. That is why they are saying that if a company is there and the digital transactions of their entire turnover are 95%, they can exempt tax audit. When we move ahead, additional rupees 1.5 lakh deduction on home loan interest till 31st March 2022. I feel that you have read a lot about budget, but I've obviously collected important points and I'm trying to explain those points to you in the easier manner. Please understand that whatever I'm teaching you, it is written, it is actually present in the newspapers too. It was taught to you by many people, but I'm trying my level best to make these things way easier so that you can grasp them. Questions will be asked for sure. Questions from this video will be asked in your exam. So remain focused throughout. Additional 1.5 lakhs. See, understand, my point here. Home loan interest, budget homes are there. Budget home loan interests are there. I am saying additional 1.5 lakh deduction was also there. This is going to continue till 31st March 2022. That is the only thing what I'm telling you. The thing which already exists, that has been extended till 31st March 2022. And what was that? Home loan interest. On home loan interest, on budget home loan interest, additional rupees 1.5 lakh deduction was there, and that is going to continue for further year till 31st March 2022. Capital gains exemption for investment in startups till 31st March 2022. If I am an investor, I have invested 1 crore, 1 CR in a startup, and I've gained, though that money has become 1 crore 7 lakh rupees now. That means the capital gain is 7 lakh rupees. On that capital gain, I'll not be paying tax. That is what I'm trying to tell you. This is basically the capital gain, and I have got exemption. The reason was because I was investing, I was promoting the startup. Yes, capital gains exemption for the investment in startups till 31st March 2022. So learn that. Now the next point is rupees 20,000 crores development finance institutions for infra financing. See, the government is planning to introduce development finance institutions now. They are trying to bring in development finance institutions. They'll be lending 5 lakh crores in 3 years time. Government is also pumping in money. Government is actually providing them 20,000 CR development finance institutions for infra financing. Basically, I'm saying 20,000 crores development finance institutions for infra financing. Government is providing them money, but government is expecting in 3 years time development finance institutions will be lending money, and that money is going to be around 5 lakh crores. New metro technology which is going to come up in tier 2 cities and peripherals of tier 1 cities. Peripherals, nearby areas, I'm referring to peripheral areas, nearby areas. Primarily I'm saying new metro technology is going to come up for tier 2 cities, but I'm saying side by side I was saying that it is going to come up for the peripherals of tier 1 cities too, and that new technology is going to be Metro Light. Along with Metro Light, it is going to be Metro Neo 2. So that's the name. You have to learn it very carefully. That name is going to be asked. The next point is new 100 Sainik schools will be opened. 750 Eklavya schools will be opened. Eklavya schools for tribal areas. That's how we know them even. Eklavya schools, 750 new Eklavya schools will come up for tribal areas. 100 new Sainik schools will be, there too. And now, India to partner for skill development and recognition with UAE, United Arab Emirates and Japan. They'll be tying up, some sort of tie-up will take place for skill development with these two nations. The one is Japan and the other one is United Arab Emirates. The next point states that single securities markets code by 2022. That means they are unifying something. They are combining something. Securities markets. First of all, I'll start with securities market. What does it mean? When we talk about debentures, when we talk about financial instruments, when we talk about bonds, when we talk about stocks, shares, when such words are used, that means we are talking about securities markets. Please understand that I'm not actually telling you the meaning of securities market, but I'm just trying to bring in the idea what securities market, what security markets are. They are related with bonds, shares, debentures, financial instruments primarily. So they are security markets. We are saying they wish to create unified single securities markets code. If they are preparing some single code for something, that means they are merging a few acts. For that, they are adding SEBI Act. Why I'm mentioning SEBI here? Even there's another point, the lower one, which talks about SEBI. I am talking about SEBI. SEBI is Securities Exchange Board of India. SEBI is Securities Exchange Board of India. I am saying they are clubbing something. To bring one single securities markets code, they are clubbing SEBI's Act, they are clubbing Depositories Act, they are clubbing actually government. See, this is going to be the question in your exam. The point, the way it is written here, I'm explaining it in another manner. I'm saying when they are coming up with one security act, one security markets code, they are clubbing other acts too, and the 4 acts are important. The names are super important, super significant. So write them all. SEBI Act, Depositories Act, Securities Contracts Act. You can call it Securities Regulation Act also. And the 4th one is Government Securities Act. I'm going to repeat them. SEBI Act, Depositories Act, Government Securities Act, and the last and the 4th one is Securities Contracts Act will be clubbed to make single securities markets code by 2022. Learn the year as well. New gas pipeline project is going to come up in JNK, Jammu and Kashmir. They have mentioned it like that. And the lower point, I was talking about it, it is actually something related with the first point, and that is regulator of gold exchanges. Gold exchanges are there, markets are there, which actually trade in gold. I'm referring to those gold exchange markets. That gold exchange market will come under the control of SEBI from now on, as SEBI has become the regulator for gold exchange markets. The next point is public sector banks recapitalization. The state of banks is not very healthy, is not very sound, so they require help from the government. So they are saying recapitalization of public sector banks, and that is going to be 20,000 crore they'll be pumping in. The next point is net borrowings for states financial year 2021-22 allowed at 4% of GSDP. Please don't write that it was 3% earlier. That's what even I'm teaching you. What was there earlier is not important for you guys. What has been committed by the government in the budget, that is important. First of all, what is GSDP? Let me clarify it. When we talk about our own country, the income of our nation, we talk about gross domestic product, GDP. But it is something else here. It is for the states. That is why it is gross states domestic product. Gross states domestic product, that is GSDP for states. But when we say 4% of their GSDP, what does it mean? How much they can borrow? Net borrowings for states for financial year 2021-22, because they are obviously reeling under the pressure. We have seen, the problem was going on with states also. So that is why they have actually increased that. 4% of GSDP, the net borrowings for states. 4%, what does it mean? If I am Manipur, as in I'm referring to the state, I am Manipur, and my GSDP is 100 rupees. I'm just explaining it in easier terms. That is why speaking like that. I'm saying I am Manipur, my GSDP is only 100, and if I wish to borrow something, my net borrowings will be 4%. That means 4 rupees, because my GSDP was 100, complete 100. So I can buy 4% of my GSDP. That means I can borrow 4 rupees as net borrowings, as my net borrowings. So I learn it like that. The next point states ITR filing exemption for the people who are 75 years old or above. You've heard that. It is just filing. Please read the words carefully. It is just filing. Those with only living on pension, those with living only on interest, only those people are exempted, not the ones who are into businesses and they are earning well, and people of 75 and above, they are exempted. No, it is not that. I'm saying tax filing is exempted for those people who are living on pension and interest only. And the point is, the lower point states, insurer to issue IPO in 2021-22, that is LIC. We have seen many IPOs coming on the stock market last year also. Now LIC, our LIC is going to release, is going to publish, is going to come up with an IPO. So 21-22, LIC is going to issue its IPO. The next point is, this is going to be the last point here, that after this I'll be wrapping it up. I'm saying strategic sale, disinvestment of. I've written 2 of the words here, strategic sale and disinvestment of. That is why I was telling you when I started the video, I told you disinvestment means when government sells its share, where government sells its shares. So government is going to sell its share in IDBI Bank, strategic sale of IDBI Bank, strategic sale of BPCL, shipping corporation will be sold to BEML. BEML is Bharat Earth Movers Limited. Bharat Earth Movers Limited is a very famous, company, famous government-owned company, government-owned asset actually. It is into mining also, but famous. They are primarily famous for rail coaches manufacturing. So BEML will be sold to Container Corporation, Neelanchal Ispat Nigam Limited, Pawan Hans and Air India. All will be sold. That means government will be selling its share. So I'm wrapping up here. If you could not understand anything, you can rewatch the video or you can switch to the Hindi one. Thanks for watching.